time we'll call to order the first regular meeting of the Pike County Fiscal Court for August 4th, 2020. And at this time, I'd like to ask Commissioner Brian Booth to say the invocation.
Dear Heavenly Father, as we come before you tonight, dear Lord, Lord, watch over this meeting we have, dear Heavenly Father, that we make all the right decisions for this county, dear Lord. Go with us throughout this day, dear Heavenly Father. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Judge Jones.
Present.
Commissioner Robertson.
Here.
Commissioner Tackett.
Here.
Commissioner Booth.
Here. We have a quorum and we are ready to proceed. And I'd like to ask Pike County Attorney Howard Keith Hall to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Judge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty, justice for all. And
Thank you, Mr. Hall.
Thank you, Judge. And with the court's permission, I want to step across and be at my office across the hallway. I'm actually going to go in there and work a little bit. I'll be listening by TV. If y'all need me, I'll be here close.
We may need you here in just a minute. Thank you, sir. At this time, the next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes for the June 16th, June 25th, and July 7th, 2020 meetings of the Pike County Fiscal Court. Is there a motion? Motion. We have a tie. We have a motion by Commissioner Robertson. Is there a second? Second. We have a second by Commissioner Booth. Is there any question or discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson.
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett.
Yes.
Commissioner Booth.
Yes.
Judge Jones.
Yes. The next item on the agenda is the acknowledgement of the receipt of the Pike County Conservation District tax rate for 2020. And I don't think we have anybody here from the Conservation District, but it appears that the rate doesn't change. It is 0.008, which is the same rate as last year. Is there a motion to acknowledge receipt of the Conservation District tax rate for 2020? Motion. We have a motion by Commissioner Booth. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second by Commissioner Tackett. Is there any other question or discussion?
No.
Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson.
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett.
Yes.
Commissioner Booth.
Yes.
Judge Jones.
Yes. The next one is Mr. Ratliff is here. I don't know, Eric should be listening. This is the adoption of a resolution of the Pike County Fiscal Court authorizing the filing of a Kentucky Local Government Economic Development Fund, which is the LGEDF House Bill 352 project proposal grant application for $32,513.61 in local government economic development single county funds for the City of Elkhorn City Steel Bridge water line replacement project and approval to execute all related documents. This is the water line that ran across the old bridge there that needs to be replaced, and it's a good project. House Bill 352 is, of course, what we have to do to draw down on the single county account. All the members of the county's legislative delegation will have to approve that project or consent to that project. Technically, only the judge has to agree to it, but I've taken the position it has to be a fiscal court vote on all of these issues. So with that being said, is there a motion to adopt the authorization or resolution authorizing the fiscal court to file House Bill 352 LGEDF grant application in the amount of $32,513.61 for the Elkhorn City Steel Bridge water line replacement project?
Motion.
We have a motion by Commissioner Tackett. Is there a second? A second by Commissioner Booth. Any other questions or discussion?
No.
Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson.
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett.
Yes.
Commissioner Booth.
Yes.
Judge Jones.
Yes. Now, along these same lines, I want to bring up an issue that that needs to be addressed with the public. This court's had to make some very hard decisions. We've made a substantial number of spending cuts since this court came in. As many of you know, the county was plagued by some significant financial problems. Bad audits, the loss of the county's credit rating, bounce checks, inaccurate cash balances, a lot of fiscal issues that we've had to clean up. And we've done it by making some very difficult decisions. Fortunately now, even with the cuts we've had to make this year, the county's financially stable. And now it's time to spend some of the money that we've been able to put back on the people of this county. There's two things I want to address here. The first one is we have the money in our Economic Development Coal Severance Tax account, and that money is earmarked for economic development infrastructure projects. We've just approved spending money for a water line in Elkhorn City. We all know that for years our county roads have been neglected. I live on a county road. I drive on a county road every day. I've got a pothole right in front of my house that you could put a small tire in it on its side. It's time that we look at the infrastructure needs of the county. And with that being said, I would make a motion that the fiscal court adopt a resolution authorizing the filing of a Kentucky Department of Local Government Economic Development Fund, LGDF, House Bill 352, grant application in the sum of $1.35 million to do road repairs, resurfacing, bridge repairs, and bridge replacement this fiscal year. Would there be a second? We have a second by Commissioner Booth. This project is something that we will combine with our flex money, with the money that's already been allocated in our current fiscal year budget, and will allow us to do about $2.1 million or thereabout in paving between now and the end of the fiscal year. We may not be able to get all of it done. It will be about 45 miles, if we can do it internally, about 45 miles of paving this year. I want to do the same thing if we can next year. So we have a motion and a second. Is there any question or discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett,
Yes.
Commissioner Booth,
Yes.
Judge Jones.
Yes. So this is a very important project because with the condition of our roads and our bridges, it is an impediment to economic development, and it's a public safety issue. So the other thing I want, if Sharon is listening, or Eric, I want this grant application prepared immediately, and I want that in, if we can get it into by Friday, to the Department of Local Government. If by Friday, the members of the court can get a proposal for 15 miles in each of the commission districts for proposed resurfacing or bridge replacement, it's going to be, we can crunch the numbers on it and give you an exact number here in a minute, but it was about $76,000 per district is what we have in the budget for each road lot, correct, Frankie? Plus $393,000 flex funds. So let me just do the math real quick here. Going to be about 2.2 million. So it's about 733,000 per each commission district for whatever road or bridge work that you need to do. I do want to let the folks know, if you live on Blackberry Creek, particularly the people on the fire department, the bridge there at Blue Springs at the old elementary school, they're starting construction on that this week, it's my understanding. So that's another piece of good news.
Judge, I was going to let you know, I spoke with Leo Murphy, Friday, and he's feeling very well. And I talked to him about me and him and Fabian going up and talking with Co-Company United for Big Hackney's Creek. And so he's going to set a meeting up one day this week for us to go up and talk to the bosses. He said in the past it's always not been a problem to get that surface, us put the blacktop down. Co-Company buy the surface and county put it down.
All right. So we'll talk to the coal company on Big Hackney's Creek, because I've been up there. I know what it's like. It's bad. The other one, Fabian, is up on Ford Mountain with their new guardrail. It's been damaged. I want you to get a hold of Excel. I've got a number of gentlemen that called me that gave me some information on who may have done that. I want to find out who damaged that guardrail. It looks like a piece of equipment was too wide for the road, came through there, is what it looks like. So I want to get with you on that, because we're having to spend a lot of money on that project, and it shouldn't, if somebody damaged it because they weren't paying attention, the guardrail's there for a reason, but if they were hauling equipment that's too wide through there and they damaged it, then that should be on them, okay? Now, I've got one other piece of business that I want to talk about. We received our coal severance tax numbers today. This year, we budgeted $1.1 million in coal and mineral severance. We're almost on track. The total for coal and mineral, I can give you those numbers here for you. Bear with me for a second. I think we're going to be really close on the numbers. The first quarter, mineral was $147,231, and coal was $142,186. So that's roughly 290, a little short of $290,000. Now, that's going to be close to the 1.1 million we budgeted, but keep in mind that is about 11.2 million short of where we were a decade ago. So we want the public to be aware of that, but we think we're going to be really close on our budget. We do have through yesterday the occupational and net profit tax. This year we budgeted roughly $3 million, $625,000 a quarter in occupational, and $500,000, $125 per quarter in net profit. We won't get the first net profit until October, but we did collect net profit from the last quarter, or the last half of the last fiscal year, because of the tax deadline that we had to move. So far, we've collected about $120,000 on the last quarter of the last fiscal year of the net profits, but occupational is up a little bit at $709,000. So net profit tax returns are down. The occupational tax is up slightly. So we're thinking, at least through the first quarter, we're going to be very close on where we are on this budget. Now, we know that we've had some hard decisions to make in terms of particularly like losing the county road aid. We think we're not going to lose the county road aid to the magnitude that we initially thought. With that being said, a lot of the employees that we've laid off have been brought back into other positions or into temporary positions that will be covered by the CARES Act. The one thing, though, that we need to do is we need to make an investment in our county workers. Morale is low. We have a lot of employees that are looking for jobs elsewhere because pay is not comparable to the private sector, particularly for skilled jobs like CDL drivers. Class A CDL drivers can make a lot more money in the private sector than they can work with fiscal court. And over the years, as county employee benefits and pension benefits have been scaled back, it makes it even harder for county government to recruit top-tier employees. Another area is we have a need for 2 carpenters in our public works department. Unfortunately, the pay doesn't compete with the private sector. We advertised those jobs and we didn't even have anybody respond. We've got employees that could have gone home that could have asked to be laid off, that could have quit because of their fear over COVID. We have employees that we called back after they had been laid off, and they went back at lower pay rather than staying home and taking the enhanced unemployment benefits. We've got a lot of people that really care about the county, that care about their jobs, and I think it's time, while we have the money and the county's financially stable, that we make an investment in our workers. And I would make a motion that we give across-the-board pay raise of 2% to all county employees. That would be my motion. Is there a second?
Second.
I hope that we go forward on this, that we can do at least a 1% pay raise a year going forward. Now, the employees didn't get a pay raise last year. There is an inflationary aspect of the COVID pandemic. The cost of food's gone up. The cost of medicine's gone up. The cost of living in general has gone up. So we have a motion and second to give Pike County Fiscal Court employees a 2% pay raise. And I know that all the commissioners are in support of this. We want to do more, but we have to make sure that we don't create a financial problem for the county down the road. Frankie, in your opinion, can the county can afford to give a 2% pay raise right now?
I think they can, Judge. I mean, I know they can, and I'm glad to see the court realize that, you know, employees need something to look forward to, a pay raise. You know, 1 or 2% means a whole lot to people. One other question is that going to go effective today, or is there an effective date on that?
What I would, let me amend the motion to make the pay raise effective September 1st, because we're already into August. That way, payroll, the treasurer's office, and finance can get everything in place before we do that.
It would take us a while. We've got to pull all the personnel files to calculate those raises, so September 1st would work for us.
All right. So, Commissioner Robertson, that's my motion. You still have the same second?
Yes.
Amended motion. Okay. So we have a motion and a second to implement a 2% across-the-board pay raise for all county workers effective September 1st, 2020. Is there any question or discussion?
Well, sir.
Ryan, you want to say something else about it there?
I think our employees need it. I mean, like you said, the price of everything keeps going up, and when your wages don't go up, it's hard to compete. And I think our employees really, really deserve this raise. And if we could, I'd like to give them a lot more, but 2% is better than nothing.
They deserve it. They work very hard. Solid waste and in this office and road department, they deserve the 2%.
All right. So if there's no other questions, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett,
Yes.
Commissioner Booth,
Yes.
Judge Jones.
Yes.
Got turned on.
The next item on the agenda is the approval to execute the agreement for municipal advisory services and the fee schedule letter for the refinancing of the mortgage revenue bonds for the Pike County Judicial Center. We've already voted on this. Mr. Palmer came up. This will give us, we may have even already approved this, but I wanted to make sure. This will give the county about $55,000 of the savings. We should be getting a check for that once this is completed. It will save the state a substantial amount of money on refinancing the bonds on the Judicial Center. So is there a motion to approve? We have a motion by Commissioner Booth. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second by Commissioner Robertson. Is there any other question or discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett,
Yes.
Commissioner Booth,
Yes.
Judge Jones.
Yes. Next item is the awarding of bids. Mr. Fannin.
We've talked for quite some time about the need for excavators for our road department. I had done quite a bit of work on it in the last few weeks. I actually had some information in your packets on some options we had with a John Deere excavator, a Caterpillar excavator, and a Volvo excavator. Probably about 1:30 or 2 o'clock this afternoon, Fabian and I got thrown a curveball that hit us right in the side of the head.
Did I throw it?
No, sir. No, sir. No, it was thrown by a vendor. Evidently, there was some type of miscommunication that I was not aware of. I was told that the head that we thought, the swivel head that we were getting, that we were priced was a hydraulic head, when actually what he had priced us was a manual head. There's about a $12,500 difference in the two. The hydraulic head is the one that we both agreed and what we had talked about, but I mean, what it is what it is. If we want to go with the hydraulic head, it's $12,500 more. The three excavators that we were looking at was the 130G John Deere, original price of $160,000 with the options we wanted on it, but now the price is $172,500. We also looked at some information on a Volvo excavator. The price on the Volvo excavator was $194,000. And we also looked at a Caterpillar excavator, and the price on it was $202,000. I think Fabian was kind of more interested in the John Deere 130G than any of the other excavators. Like I say, there was a miscommunication about the head, but that's something we needed on it to be able to clean the ditch lines. That is with the thumb on it, and it is with the blade. After we caught that curveball, he kind of threw us a little slider also, because originally told us that these pieces of equipment would be ready in 30 days. And we were told later on this afternoon, because of the issue on the blade, that they wouldn't be available until December.
Mid-December.
So let me ask you, these three excavator models that you spec'd out, were those on government contract price, or are they on co-op purchasing, or do we have to bid those?
We don't have to bid any of them. All three of these excavators are either on state contract or on co-op purchasing agreements.
So the question is, what do we want to do, Fabian? I don't know anything about excavators.
Yeah, honestly, I still say the John Deere is the way to go, but honestly, I'm just thrown a curveball by the December delivery date. I was honestly told, as well as Greg was, that we would be able to get those within a month. Well, actually, Judge Hickman was with us today, and we were told that we would get them within a month. And then, like he said, around 2 o'clock, he called. And
if you went to the Volvo, when would you get those?
No, that I don't know, and I don't even know, honestly, is that with the attachments, Greg, that $194 price? Is that with all the attachments, the thumbs and everything? Because it is?
That's what we discussed with him, yes.
Okay, all right.
So let me say this. This is a decision the court's got to make.
Yes.
I think the public needs to know why we're talking about buying excavators, because, I've said it before, it doesn't do you any good if you've got full crews on your road department if they don't have equipment to work with. This work can't be done by picks and shovels.
No. And Judge, to kind of inform the public, our downtime on at least 3 of our excavators are, I would say, 4 months out of a year. I would say 4 months out of 12, we're probably staying down.
We have 5 Hyundai.
We have three Hyundais.
3 Hyundais.
Yeah, 1 John Deere and 2 Cats.
And we took one of the Hyundais out of service because it was just.
Yeah, we're using it for parts for the ones that are still in service.
So the 3 that we have, basically can't get parts because the parts are having to come from South Korea.
Exactly.
And I don't think anybody sells them. I don't know if they import them to the country anymore. But we can't get work done on these roads because of the equipment. Same problem we had with solid waste. We've sort of fixed that. So what is your recommendation to the court?
Honestly, I think I would be misleading you if I didn't say that maybe, and I hate to say this, but give us more time. I say let us have this at the next court meeting. And that would be my recommendation is let us see what the lead time is on some of these others. I mean,
Let me ask you this. If we went ahead and got the John Deeres, can we wait till December? Can we make it?
we can. We can make it till December. I mean, in all honesty, yeah, we can. We can make it till December if that's the way we want to go.
And none of the three can be ready before December.
No, that's exactly, I mean, I've got the text message that he messaged me probably around 4:30, because he said that they were trying, he had everybody above him trying, and this didn't come from Leslie, this comes from John Deere. That is their backlog on those blades, and the blades are the issue. You know, and that's why, like, we couldn't even get the machines in and work them and then have the blades put on, because this has to be put on by John Deere, not by Leslie, the blades, you know. But we can wait if the court would go with the John Deere, and that is my recommendation of what we would do was to go with the John Deere. It's just that lead time kind of threw us for a loop.
What about lead time on the Volvos or Cats? I mean, you're talking if you go with the Volvo, you're talking another almost $60,000 for the three.
And that's why I say we could wait. It's because the John Deere is plenty. I mean, Brian would know.
You're talking another
we're
$80,000 if you go to the,
I mean, problem with the John Deere. We waited this long.
yeah.
We've waited on Peterbilt trucks, we could wait on John Deere excavator.
That's the way I feel about it. John Deere's a good piece of equipment, I like it, so I don't have a
Okay.
problem.
Okay.
I still say go with the John Deere.
But Greg and I just wanted to
let me
make
ask
sure
you
that
this.
y'all was aware.
if you don't get new excavators, what does it do to the road department? That's a softball. Greg's been talking about curveballs, so I'm
Yeah.
throwing you a softball. What does it do to your ability to do work on these roads?
Well, I mean, it's the ditch line work. And if you don't pull ditch lines, you have no road. And that's what, and honestly, you were talking about the blacktop you want to lay. Well, without the excavator, you honestly might as well not put it down, because if we can't get that water off the road, there's no need blacktopping it. You're just wasting your money.
You gotta get your drains and your ditches.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have drains and ditches.
But we could still do some blacktopping with the equipment we got now.
We can still, and we will get it done. I promise you, I will get it done. But, just when December rolls around, I'll get it done a little easier.
I think we can wait, honestly.
Do we want to go ahead and, y'all want to make a motion?
It's by
Is there a motion to purchase 3 130G John Deere excavators with thumbs and hydraulic heads as spec'd out? This will be a purchase from Leslie Equipment for the purchase price of $172,500 each. That's the best price we can get, correct?
That's the best price we can get. There is a lease option I could go through if you're interested in.
Well, just so the court will know, the lease option would help us on our cash flow, but it costs the county about $30,000+, $35,000 or so over the term of the lease. Is that correct, Greg?
Correct. It would cost, at the 160 price, it'd be $9,563 each, or $28,690. With the $2,000, $2,500 each increase in price, that would probably put us over $30,000 in interest over the course of the lease. Now, it's upfront money too, so really you're just paying 4 years. You've got them paid for by the time the fourth year starts. Also in a lease, there is a refundable security deposit of $3,200 each. I was able to negotiate and get them to waive that, but we still have a considerable amount of interest that we can save if we go ahead and purchase them.
So how many dollars did it go up? 12,000 each.
12.5. From 160 to 172.5.
And also, one part of that too is, I think, is he had originally priced a manual thumb instead of the hydraulic. So that is noted on there, though, right?
Yes.
That price is with the hydraulic thumb and then the swivel head,
Hydraulic swivel head.
the hydraulic swivel head.
You have to have the hydraulic swivel head.
Oh, yeah, you have to.
I'd rather have the hydraulic thing.
I would do.
Is there a motion to make the to purchase 3 130G John Deere excavators for the price of $172,500 on state contract price from Leslie Equipment.
Motion.
A motion by Commissioner Tackett. Is there a second? With a second by Commissioner Booth. Is there any other question or discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett.
Yes.
Commissioner Booth.
Yes.
Judge Jones.
Yes. Is there a motion to authorize the county treasurer to issue a check for the purchase price of the 3 John Deere excavators to Leslie Equipment?
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Tackett. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Robertson. Any question or discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett.
Yes.
Commissioner Booth.
Yes.
Judge Jones.
Yes. Now, it's my goal, this court's goal, that we lay as much blacktop as we can because these roads are in bad shape. This year, next year, the last year, the term of this court, we're going to try to do as much blacktopping as we can. And I know we saved about $10,000 a mile doing it in-house. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So but you need a new paver. You've got one paver right now,
One
correct?
paver, and yes,
And you need another one.
we do.
So I know we've looked at some prices on pavers, 200 and some thousand roughly. So if we do 45 miles internally this year, as opposed to contracting it out, we would save enough to buy a paver, correct?
Correct.
So before the next court meeting, find us a paver. Have you got one?
I've got some information. I've worked this afternoon getting some information on some pavers. Fabian was able to, along with his knowledge, get some other advice on the best pavers to buy. And so I was able to contact some of those companies and get some information, some pricing, and I have that for the court. One of the top brands is called a Road Tech. It's the kind of paver that Fabian needs. It goes from like 8 feet out to 15 feet, but it is quite an expensive piece of equipment. It's $350,000. Caterpillar makes one of the top-of-the-line pavers. They've actually been bought out, their paving division, by a company called Weiler, but it's still the same paver. It's on state contract. It's a top-of-the-line paver, but it's kind of expensive too. It's $372,000.
A lot of money.
Also, another paver that has been recommended to Fabian is a paver by the brand name of Carlson. It is also a paver that goes from 8 feet out to 15 feet. It's a 2-man operated paver, which is what we need. The price on it would come through Rudd Equipment. It's on state contract. The price of it is $216,877. Also, Rudd handles a Volvo paver. It's a 3-man paver, a little bit bigger paver, but the price on it is $334,000. Fabian and I have kind of gone over the specs on this 2-man Carlson paver kind of quickly this afternoon, and he seems to think that that's the kind of paver that would do the job for what we need. And it's priced $216,877.
Judge, I have spoke with several people in the paving, and that paver does come very highly recommended.
Carlson.
Also. Yeah, and like you said, it's sold just down the road here. And it does come very highly recommended, like I said.
How quick is it to get one?
Now, Greg had spoke with him. I don't know what the lead time on that would be.
No, I'll be honest, I had so many questions to ask, I'm not sure that I
And
asked
in his
about lead
defense,
time.
this all came up
Right.
at the end, and so he was scrambling just to get this information for us. But the Carlson is a reputable, good paver.
Well, here's the deal. If we could save enough by doing it internally to pay for that paver,
And that just
I've seen
adds
the-
to your road mile. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that just adds to our road miles that we can put down if we do it internally.
how many? Yeah. So, if we do it internally, every 5 miles of pavement we put down is another mile of money that we can do.
For
Correct.
paving. Yes, that is correct.
That's what we need.
I mean, you know, I saw the work that the road department did last year, and it's as good as any company that could have put it down.
Yeah.
And, you know, I went over to Belfry. Danny Branham was up to his elbows in grease trying to get the paperwork, and they did a great job. Even at the job up on Little Creek,
Yeah.
fantastic job.
Yeah. I mean, our guys are skilled. They can do the work. There will still be some jobs that are just, I mean, just for example, the Ford Mountain job. Jobs like that, we would still want to maybe contract. But all these other jobs, there's no reason why we shouldn't do those ourselves. Save that money, and it just adds to the length of blacktop we can put down. You know, if we can add 4 mile a year of blacktop we can lay, I mean, in my opinion, it's worth it to invest in this paver.
And we also need a jetter.
Well,
I've actually got a little bit of information on the jetter also. It's something that was, I mean, I know we'd worked on that in the past and decided to wait. It kind of came up this morning, and I've tried to gather some information on it. Fabian had informed me that the city, Elkhorn City had just bought one that he thinks would probably be big enough for what we need. It's the brand is a Boss jet. It's not any kind of co-op contract or state contract. It's something we would have to bid. But this is something that can be upgraded. It's a 500-gallon tank. It can clean up to 18-inch sewer lines. There's about 4 or 5 options with different engines you can get on it. With the bigger engine on it, with a 22. The big thing on a jetter is the gallons per minute. These engines go anywhere from a 16-gallon per minute up to a 22-gallon per minute. If you get the optional engine with the 22-gallon per minute, it runs roughly $27,000. Fabian seems to think this is about what we would need, but this is something that we would have to bid.
How do you spell Carlson?
Carlson. The CP100 paver is the paver that we're...
Well, I mean, if we're going to invest in a paver and the excavators, if we're going to start in the head of a hollow, we need to pull the ditch lines. The drains need to be clear before we put any blacktop down.
oh, that's exactly right. We need to change out every drain, make sure that all the water issues are.
Let's do this. So you're certain that this jetter you're talking about will hold up to our needs?
Well, you put me
Right
on the
now.
road. I really think so, yeah. I wouldn't
Right now.
we would not have recommended this if I did not.
Right now, the county doesn't have a way to clean drains out. Okay?
Zero, we do not.
So,
And we've got quite a few of them, Judge, that stopped up that we need to clean out.
so I just have from a reliable source that we need to steer clear of that one brand of paper you're talking about and go to a Caterpillar.
Okay.
And
Well, that's fine. I mean,
here's why. Wayne Supply services those. They have a shop here that can do it. And Wayne will finance those. So that's part of something, you know, we're going to have a capital outlay for the excavators. Okay.
okay.
So let's check with Wayne, see what they have. You spec'd out a cat.
This is the one I just got pricing on just a minute ago I was telling you about.
Well, let's check on, see what kind of lease and financing terms they have, because we are making a pretty big capital outlay, and we need to see what kind of warranty they have. I got a good friend that's been in the paving business for a long time, and he says stay clear of the one brand.
Then I would run with that. I would run with that. I would.
So
Yeah,
I think, you know,
that's the right thing to do.
okay.
Can we go watch the jetter work that Elkhorn bought? Have you talked to Mike?
Yeah, well, I've not talked to Mike myself. I'm sure, though, that he would let us.
Why don't we just run it one day and wanna unclog a drain, just kind of see what kind of power it does have? I know we got bigger drains, I think, than what Elkhorn, you know, I'm not saying that it wouldn't work, but we got some pretty good sized drains ourselves.
Well, like, you know, that would clean up to an 18-inch drain, so.
I'm not sure which option they had as far as an engine on the one they
Right.
bought. That's just the brand they bought, but the bigger engine on ours, you know, the bigger engine, the one I said would be about $27,000, will clean up to an 18-inch drain.
Now, but let's think about this too. Other issue is we're going to be clean a lot more. It's going to be used a lot more in the county.
And it will in Elkhorn.
That's right. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
You got a lot of 2-foot drains.
And we got some that's 24 inch.
You know, we talked several months ago about a jetter, one like I think the state had,
Yeah, and that was our,
some $1,000 jetter.
let's do this. For the next court meeting, be prepared to give us a presentation with lease and finance options for the paver, and give us some detailed information on jetters, because you know, it doesn't make sense to spend money on county roads if the first time you have some water on them, it's going to wash it out. And we've seen that. Commissioner Booth and I were back 3 months ago over on Mud Lick. It's to see how much water was coming out of some of those hollers. I mean, we need to make sure these ditches are cleaned out and the drains are cleaned out. Greg, do you have anything else for us tonight?
I think that's all.
All right, thank you, sir. Next up is Mr. Little, the approval of the Pike County Commissioners' recommended road maintenance list. This will be available for the public on Pike TV. Is there a motion to adopt?
Motion.
We have a motion by Commissioner Tackett. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second by Commissioner Robertson. Any other question or discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett.
Yes.
Commissioner Booth. Yes. Judge Jones.
Yes. Maybe I think you've got some other business to come before the court.
Judge, I actually have 2 roads that would need a first reading on to be adopted into the county road system. The first road would be the left fork of Open Fork. It's at a length of 1/10 of a mile and also at 15 foot wide.
All right, and Mr. King, would you please present the first reading of these ordinances to the members of the court and the public, please?
Yes, as Mr. Little said, we've got 2 here. The first in summary form is an ordinance which would formally and officially accept into the Pike County road system 4/10 of a mile of GW Newsom Branch. It would make it a public road under KRS 178010, and this is before us today based upon a petition by the residents along that roadway. There will be no vote today, first reading. And the second one, in similar fashion, would adopt 1/10 of a mile on the left fork of Open Fork, and that as well was made based upon a petition by the residents, which should be in your packet here today. Anybody in the public that wants to see the notice itself and the ordinance can read that in the judge's office.
Thank you, sir. Those will be ready for the next fiscal court meeting, and that's supposed to be on the 18th. I may have to be out of town that day, so we may have to do it as a special meeting a couple days thereafter. We're looking at that. I've got something that came up on my other schedule that I can't postpone. So with the court's indulgence, we can move that meeting, may have to move that meeting a couple days. So that will be on the agenda for the next meeting. Mr. Little, anything else, sir? No. All right. Mr. Stacy, Treasurer's business.
The first thing is approval to execute a proposal with J.M. Wood Auction Company to sell the Mack trucks at the September 2020 auction in Montgomery, Alabama, and for the judge executive to sign all related documents.
Is there a motion to approve execution of a proposal with J.M. Wood Auction Company to sell the Mack lease trucks of September 2020 in Montgomery, Alabama, and authorization for the judge executive to sign all related documents?
Motion.
A motion by Commissioner Robertson. Is there a second?
Second.
A second by Commissioner Tackett. Is there any other question or discussion?
There's one question. You know, we've got one of those trucks that's the hood's damaged on it. Are we going to repair that or just take it the way it is?
We probably need to repair that.
That looks bad.
Is that the one that had the asphalt?
Dropped on it.
Yeah.
I thought they were supposed to fix that truck.
But we'll deal with that. We can deal with that outside of this, but
It won't be
If you-
long. I mean, we'll
If
have,
you don't fix it, they'll fix it down there before the auction, and then they'll charge you their price to fix it. So the trucks have to be guaranteed like normal wear and tear, but anything
Is Chuck back there?
like that would have to be fixed.
Well, your dump truck's in it.
It was actually from the landfill truck at Hollow White.
And it's not been fixed.
Well, Larry brought that to my attention today.
Well, Judge Hickman, can you start on that tomorrow and see if we can't get a new hood for it? All right, so we have a motion and a second. Is there any other question or discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett.
Yes.
Commissioner Booth.
Yes.
Judge Jones.
Yes.
In hand with that, when Jimmy Kaiser takes the trucks back, I need authorization to cut him a check for $4,000 for any kind of unforeseen expenses, such as if fuel cards don't work or if they blow a tire, things along those ways, plus to pay for food and lodging for the 10 drivers to take the trucks back.
Is there a motion to authorize a check to Jimmy Kaiser in the amount of $4,000 to cover lodging expenses for taking the trucks back to auction in Montgomery, Alabama?
Motion.
We have a motion by Commissioner Booth. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Tackett. Any other question or discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett.
Yes.
Commissioner Booth.
Yes.
Judge Jones.
Yes.
Authorize a check in the amount of $250 to Misty Kelly for settlement of solid waste property damage.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Robertson. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Booth. Any other question or discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett.
Yes.
Commissioner Booth.
Yes.
Judge Jones.
Yes.
Last thing I have would be to authorize a check in the amount of $100 to the Kentucky Magistrate and Commissioner Association for 4 virtual training classes for Commissioner Booth.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Robertson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Tackett. Any other question or discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett.
Yes.
Commissioner Booth.
Yes.
Judge Jones.
Yes. Mr. King, executive session, sir. Would you please instruct the public on the relevant provisions of the Kentucky Open Meeting Law as it applies to executive session?
KRS 61810, subsection C and F, to discuss personnel, specific personnel matters and pending litigation.
Is there a motion to enter into executive session?
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Tackett. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Booth. Is there any other question or discussion? Well, actually, it's not debatable. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett.
Yes.
Commissioner Booth.
Yes.
Judge Jones.
Yes, we will be in recess for executive session and will return at the call of the chair. At this time, is there a motion to adjourn from executive session?
Motion.
We have a motion by Commissioner Robertson. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second by Commissioner Tackett. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett.
Yes.
Commissioner Booth.
Yes.
Judge Jones.
Yes. Mr. Maynard, would you, I'll read them. So it is my motion and recommendation on personnel to approve NOAA cases pay to include longevity effective 7/27/20. Approve the termination of Glenna Robinson effective 8/1/20. Approval to hire Clinton Eugene Morris temporarily as a loader at solid waste lot 1 at a 2H rate of pay effective 7/27/20. Approval to hire Danny Witt II temporarily as a loader at solid waste lot 1 at a 2H rate of pay effective 7/27/20. Approval to hire James Thompson as a truck driver at road lot 1 at a 3H rate of pay effective 7/30/20. Approval to accept the resignation of Patrick Daniels effective 7/14/20. My motion to acknowledge the retirement of Corbett Newsom effective 7/31/20. We wish Corbett well in the future and hope he has a very enjoyable retirement. Also, to accept the resignation of Terry Justice, effective 7/31/20. We're going to miss Terry, and he has been a very good employee. I think they're moving. And with regard to Glenna's had some health problems, and we certainly want to continue to wish her the best and pray for her as she leaves county government after several years of service. It's also my motion to approve hiring Patrick McCoy temporarily as a loader at Solid Waste Lot 1 at a 2H rate of pay effective 7/28/20. It is my motion to retroactively approve payment of Deputy Coroner Kevin Hall's salary back to July 1st, 2020. That was budgeted. For some reason, it has not been paid. It is my motion to hire Sherry Skaggs as an administrative assistant effective 8/5/20 at a 2A rate of pay in the Commissioner's office. To move Grant Coleman from solid waste to Road Lot 5 at a 3H rate of pay effective 8/10/2020. To hire Tommy Wright as a weed mower on a 3H rate of pay, and I'm not sure what lot that is.
4.
At Road Lot 4, and to move James Thompson from the road department to Road Lot 1 to the garage at a 5H rate of pay effective 8/10/20. Is there a second?
Second.
Do we have to do? Okay, and also to move Ronnie Dotson to Phelps, and he is at a 5H rate of pay, I believe. Okay, he is at Lot 4 now, is that correct? Lot 2. Okay, and also to transfer John Thompson from Lot 5 back to Lot 4. All right, so that is my motion. Is there a second?
My second.
We have a second by Commissioner Robertson. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson?
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett?
Yes.
Commissioner Booth?
Yes.
Judge Jones?
Yes. I want to just first of all say that the loaders that we have hired temporarily in solid waste are doing a fantastic job, and we're going to be able to get those salaries. They're working in replacing inmate labor, but they're doing a much better job than what the inmates were doing. And there's accountability, and there's people who take pride in what they're doing. And if in any way, shape, form, or fashion that we can afford it, once the CARES Act expires, I'm hopeful that we can keep these people on full-time and permanent positions as loaders so that we don't have to rely on inmate labor. So I would think that does anybody on the court have any thoughts on that issue in terms of using actual employees as opposed to inmates?
Well, first of all, we don't know when we're going to get them back. And second of all, we've got to have loadermen on that garbage truck. I mean, one man can't do it all. So
I just think that the employees will do a better job for the.
I think they will, because they'll know if they're on that route every day and not switching around like the inmates do. They'll know exactly where the garbage is and what route they run, so they'll know.
Where's Chuck at?
Hands be set at and everything.
Chuck's probably in the office watching this. Is Chuck, if you're listening to this, could you come in? Or if somebody could grab him for me, I would appreciate it. And while we're waiting on Chuck, there's several things that we were going to do tonight. We've had a lot of issues. I want Doug at the next court meeting to give us an update on the solid waste, the grant application for the new radio system, the repeaters, for our first responders. Also, Pam will be able to give us an update on the occupational and net profit tax receipts. We'll know more probably in a couple weeks. Ronnie's got a couple things, Commissioner Robertson has a couple issues that he is concerned about that he wants to bring forward. And then Greg, you and Fabian can be in a position to talk about jetters and pavers and what our financial options are at that time. So that way we can, we can sort of shorten this meeting a little bit. Judge? Okay, you want to do that tonight? We can. Okay. Because we probably won't have a tremendous amount on the agenda next time. So I'd like for all the department heads to be prepared to give updates. So with that being said, Chuck, my idea is, we've had issues. The inmates have been helpful. We've also had issues with the inmates. And right now we're using temporary county employees to do this and to do the loading. And my position is if we can afford this and absorb that into the solid waste budget, taking into account what the capital needs are going to be, we would be better off using county employees who are going to be accountable, who are going to have some level of responsibility to the citizens of the county, as opposed to inmates that we have no control over who's going to be on the back of a truck on a certain route on a given day. What's your thoughts on that?
Exactly what you just said, and to go with what Brian said before I got in here, is they will know the run themselves. And if the driver's off and you have to replace the driver, they'll be able to get that driver through the day and not miss trash. I mean, we've just now got enough men to put everybody on the back of the truck, and I hope to keep it that way. That way they can learn these routes. I mean, it'd be a win for us if we can afford it, no doubt. And they can also be responsible for helping the driver keep the truck clean.
I know where the turn.
And then as of tomorrow, I already have made plans as of tomorrow to assign each driver a man that they would take every day and know that they're taking them. That way they can.
That won't be changing.
Right.
That loader, that driver will be together every day.
Right. That way they'll both be responsible for the run, and they'll be responsible for helping keep the truck clean. I mean, if we can afford it, it's the way to go.
That should stop a lot of the missed garbage and trucks from not knowing where to go and where not to
Because even if it's, like I said, the driver's off.
I think also was us putting the two-way radios back in the truck. People can't say we missed their garbage if it's out there at 8 o'clock and they call us at 11 o'clock and say we missed our garbage. That truck driver ought to know that. So, I mean.
Right. He should be able to radio and let somebody know that the garbage went out. Right.
Exactly. Because we do have to run back and forth to get a lot of garbage right now.
Yes, one other thing, what about the new mini packers? How are they?
Oh, they're doing good. I mean, we've got some communication problems with where the easy dumps is used to going, that they don't have to go anymore, and they're still working out who goes where, but.
Well, the two-way radios will help that too.
Two-way radios will help that.
How are we coming on getting the radios put in the trucks? I mean,
we're getting they're putting in 2 a day. CJ is. He's got 2 up there right now. I think we've got 8 right now. After tonight, we'll have 10.
I mean, it's just logical to have radios in the truck so these guys can communicate with each other.
Oh, yeah, they know where.
They know where to meet and everything with the mini packer and the easy dumps.
Now, today I had 2 people call, about missed pickups. Did you get to the bottom of those?
I did.
Was it employee issues, or was it they just hadn't got to them yet, or what was it?
One of them we have been missing, but I talked to Fitch, and he called the guy and got that straightened out to where he knew which driver to tell about it. I think both situations, the garbage was sitting where the driver wasn't used to it being. One of them was tied to a guardrail, and I can't remember the other one. But yes, I did call both of them today, and Fitch also called the one. And we'll get that straightened out because we don't want to miss customers. I mean, that's the last thing we want to do, and nobody intentionally does.
And they will set it out after you run sometimes too.
Yeah, well, these two cases, I don't think that's what happened that the judge is talking about. I think it was our error, but we'll get it straightened out.
And we're still finding out people that's not paying their garbage.
We are.
That's good.
I think that Stephanie run that report today, and there's 1,132 new customers since January. Is that right, what it was, Reggie? 1,200? So, I mean, we're picking up a lot of customers.
That's great. That's good for the county.
Greg, do you have something?
I had a question. I was wondering about.
Yeah, we're already, Greg, picking up what we can. I mean, we're not back to it like we was, but we're doing, you know, as they can get a little bit here and there, they are. We're trying to get people to schedule that so that we can, you know, because they don't have the time that they used to have to just run here and there and get it. If people will call in and schedule that, we'll get them on a list, and we'll try to get their bulk picked up for them as quickly as possible. Well, have you called that in?
Not your fault, is it, Judge?
Let's go ahead and do Department Supervisors' comments. Does anybody have anything tonight? Everybody will be ready at the next meeting to give me updates on their individual departments. All right. Mr. Keene, do you have anything, sir? Judge Hickman? All right. We'll start with Commissioner Booth.
Judge, I think our employees are doing a good job. I had a fellow call me the other day bragging on Tony Dotson over at Blackberry and what a good job he done cutting the weeds over there. And I also had a gentleman call me from Upper Blackberry, and I guess something me and Fabian needs to go look at. You don't get this call very often. He wanted to maybe donate some of his property to the county to widen the road out. So that's unusual to get that call, but it's good news. Other than that, I mean, you know, just keep up the good work. I'm tickled to death we was able to give the employees a raise. They deserve it. That's about all I have this evening, Judge.
All right, Commissioner Tackett.
I got a paper today, Jeannie gave me that Miss Brown had dropped off for me to kind of say about the Pride Clean Community Board. I do miss those meetings. The Pike County Pride Clean Community Board will be back. Meeting will begin as soon as we're allowed. They just wanted me to let you know the board wants to extend the very best wishes for good health and safety to everyone. And just as soon as we get lifted up, that we can get started back doing that, we will be back on task with that. I mean, we made tough decisions from the start, and now it is showing where we can help our employees, and it does make you feel good about that, you know, and we get them something to work with and to get the jobs done throughout this county. And I want to thank them from this building to where we're at ever in the county.
All right, Commissioner Robertson.
I got a couple things I want to talk about, but I'll wait till the next court meeting, and that's on the community centers. And
why don't you go ahead and do it? I think it's important. It's been on your mind, and it's been weighing on you pretty heavy. I think you.
Well, we'll go the animal shelter first. You know, last year our budget was like $357,929. We come in under the budget of $331,914.48. We took in revenues that we took in was $22,111.
Tell me those numbers again.
Well, we budgeted for last year at the animal shelter $357,929. So we come in under budget at $331,914.48. Well, with adoption fees and the donations and everything, we took in $22,111. For what we spent, you know, we're in the hole big time. And as of, I think right now, which Lori can probably tell us, we've got 573 that need to be spayed and neutered down there. And they're still growing, right?
Hey, Frank.
Okay. So we're not getting any help from the ASPCA or the Humane Society, right? So we're spending a whole lot of money there that we're not recouping, and the taxpayers in the Pike County Fiscal Court is paying this.
You'll get something from me on that.
On the utilities for the community centers, last year we took in $15,875. We gave back $6,375 in refunds. That shows $9,500 we took in. That's not, utilities and power and water alone was $34,365.17. We've got to do something between these two things. I mean, we've got to have a little help from somewhere, or we need to raise the rates, you know, where both of them together, we're looking at $455,000 a year. This county cannot survive like that. The community centers, we're going to have to get together. We're going to have to work out a price, you know, for a day. And as of right now, we can't open them up because we don't have anybody to clean them. They have to be cleaned or sanitized after every use. And we couldn't even find anybody that even wanted to do that. So we're going to have to take a hard look at this and try to find some way to try to come out of this hole. I mean, the county can't survive that every year. So that's just something I wanted to talk about on that. I mean, the judge and I have talked about it, and it's, I think the community centers last year alone was $146,000 we spent. Not to keep them open and keep them operate, you know. So it's just something else we're going to have to look at and try to get some help on some way or another. And I guess the other thing, I do want to thank my road crew. I went with Senator Wheeler and State Representative Ashley Lafferty Tackett today into Brushy and Sycamore and Maynard Fork. We were in all three of those places today, and we're trying to get those people some water over there. I mean, their water is just like sewer water in their commodes. So they went with me today. We went over there and worked on that a little bit and talked to some people, and we've got an application grant in, and I think we got State Representative Angie Hatton, Lafferty Tackett, Senator Wheeler, Representative Harris, and who else is on that, Jason? Yeah, Representative John Blanton. They've all, they're trying to help us on that to get those people some water over there. So I just wanted to give them a little bit of update on that. And then Ike has done a tremendous job of pothole patching over there.
Don't brag on Ike too much. We won't be able to.
I know his head will swell up real big. But they did do a good job. I went from Ford Mountain all the way through Brushy today, and he has done a good job on the road over there. And I want to thank him for that. Those people over there deserve that. And other than that, that's all I got to say, Judge.
Well, there's several things I just want to briefly go over. I want to touch on the animal shelter and the community centers. Now, when I was in the legislature, most of those the community centers were built. But my concern was the same then as it is now, is how do you take care of them after coal severance tax is no longer coming in? Coal severance tax has been going down for a long time. Let me just lay this here for a second. So the other issue is the parks and playgrounds. You know, I had a former magistrate that got really mad at me because I would not agree to spend more coal severance tax on parks and playgrounds. And we're seeing, you know, we're reaping what was sown in those years when instead of spending money on industrial development, technology centers, job creation, it was parks and playgrounds. And, you know, my argument then is the same as it is now. If you don't have people working, if the parents can't find a job, there's not going to be kids to play in these parks. And when you're losing $146,000 a year just on the parks, and what was that total number between the parks and the community centers, Ron? I'm sorry. $455,000. And, you know, there is a service that the animal shelter provides, and Lori and her crew's done a fantastic job. They're shorthanded due to the workforce reductions. And we're having to try to get by with fewer people doing more work. And the animal shelter is not an easy job. They're dealing with vicious animals. It's a dangerous job. I think it's a fair statement. You know, some of the animals that they have to deal with can be extremely dangerous. But, you know, I learned this today. Frankie told me that at one time the adoption fee was $50 for a dog, $35 for a cat. Well, now it's $5 now, 10. We raised it from 5 to 10, to 10 from 5. But nevertheless, why would they reduce that? Now, one of the things, Lori, I need you to do is get with Eric and Sharon to see if there's any kind of grants anywhere to help animal shelters, because we can't keep losing $455,000 between the animal shelter and the community centers. We're going to have to look at how we schedule the community centers. I mean, you're talking about an outlay of money of, you know, nearly $500,000 a year. We're going to have to find a way to cut that number down in terms of the loss to the county. We support the community centers, but, you know, if you go down and rent a room at one of the local restaurants, you're going to pay a lot more than you would at a community center. And now with COVID, somebody's got to come in. It's not just to come in and wipe the tables and down and wipe the bathroom sink off. It has to be sanitized to prevent the spread of COVID. So I want to thank Commissioner Robertson for his work on that. And I want to thank the commissioners. These guys are working extremely hard for the people of this county. And I think the commissioner system has worked. I think it shows that this court functions at a higher level in a more professional manner than what we've seen in the past, and we're going to continue to do that. We do have some other challenges. We continue to see a significant increase in the number of COVID cases being diagnosed in Pike County, especially in younger persons. And it is very alarming given that school starts back in about 3 weeks. And as a parent, my wife and I are going to have to make a hard decision here in the next day or so about whether we send our kids back in the classroom. With what I'm seeing right now, I'm very concerned. I want to just say this. You know, I grew up in a Baptist family. My grandpa was a Baptist minister. He was blessed to live, you know, to be 91 years old. I looked at the Herald Leader today, and there was a pastor who at a Baptist church up in Fayette County, 56 years old, healthy, you know, and the article talked about all that he hoped to accomplish, but his life was cut short by COVID, no pre-existing health problems. People are not taking this serious. We still have people on Facebook and other things talking about hydroxychloroquine, and my wife's a doctor. And hydroxychloroquine has been, the emergency approval has been removed by the FDA because it's not proven to work. And, the FDA approves everything we take, from Tylenol, aspirin, stomach medicine, antihistamines, whatever it is. The FDA is charged with making sure that medications are safe and that they're used appropriately. A new study it was in the New England Journal of Medicine, says it doesn't work. And here's what I mentioned that. We don't need to have people with a false sense of security thinking if they get COVID, there's a treatment for it. There's not. There's no vaccine for it. And as a parent of a teenager and then 2 adolescent children, yesterday there were 2 teenagers that died in Florida. They had 7 kids under 17 in Florida die. And as a parent, that should scare us all. And it is alarming as school's getting ready to start back when we're seeing teenagers being diagnosed. I would encourage everyone to do what we're doing here: social distancing, and when you're wear a mask when you're in large groups. Every commissioner here's got a mask, and when we get ready to leave, we're going to have it on today. It is important to stop the spread. And you see this stuff on the internet that masks don't work. That's not true. There's a reason that doctors, when they do surgery, wear a mask. There's a reason when you go to the dentist and the dentist is looking in your mouth that they have a mask on. It's to prevent germs. It's to prevent those particles that you breathe out when you talk and stuff that other people, when they're talking and breathing. So please take this serious. We're seeing it in Florida. We're seeing, Florida is having, is now worse than New York was. We don't want to be Florida. So please take this serious. The other thing that is sort of concerning is the census. I read today that they're going to stop all census activity in September. Now, normally it doesn't stop until October, but they're going to stop it a month early. And here's what's alarming. As of August 2nd, Pike County only has a 57.4% response rate. In the 2010 census, it was a 75% response rate. The current rate of response for the city of Pikeville is 57.6%, Elkhorn City is 46.5%, and Coal Run is 63.7%. You can still respond by either going online to the 2020census.gov or by calling 844-330-2020 or by returning the census that you received in the mail by mail. Census takers should be out door to door the week of August the 15th, but if it's going to be stopped a month early, we're going to be hard pressed to get to the 75% response rate. If a census taker comes to your home or a field representative, they will have an ID badge so that you can identify them as a census worker. If they do not have an ID badge or a identification badge, I would not let them in the house or have any discussions with them about this. I would also encourage you to remember not to give out any financial information. Census takers will not ask you for any financial information. They will not ask you for anything to do with political party affiliation or with voting. The census taker or field representative, their ID badge will have their name, the photograph, the Department of Commerce watermark, and an expiration date. They will also have an official bag and Census Bureau issued electronic device such as a laptop, smartphone, and they will have the Census Bureau logo on that. Census takers and field representatives will conduct their work between the hours of 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. local time. So those are just some things to remember. It is imperative for the future of this county that people answer the census. If we do not have a complete count, it will cost this county substantial sums of money when we're applying for grants, when we're getting state and county, county road aid money and other, even educational dollars. So please make sure that you have you've responded appropriately to the census. we have made some hard decisions. I'm proud of what this court's done. We are still below our optimal manpower level, and we're going to have some difficult decisions to move forward. We are making an investment in our county infrastructure, in the county's capital items and equipment, and we're also making investments in our workforce. And we're going to continue to do that. I'm very proud to be Pike County Judge Executive. It has been a tremendous honor. It's been a learning experience, and I'm humbled to be given this opportunity. I'm humbled to be working with such fine men as commissioners, and I also want to thank the employees and our staff. They've been very patient. We hope that the morale will get a boost in the arm when they find out about the pay raises, and particularly our solid waste crews and our road crews, they don't always get the thanks that they deserve. Particularly when people make complaints on Facebook. By and large, if you have a problem with a county government agency, if you'll give my office a call, me, Judge Hickman, or one of the managers will make sure it's addressed immediately. So again, thank you for tuning in. Thank the staff for being here. The next meeting likely, again, will not be on the 18th. It may be the following, that Friday, which I think is the 21st. So if there's no other business to come before the court, is there a motion? Well, benediction. Brian, can you do the benediction for us?
Dear Lord, as we come before you again tonight, Lord, thank you, Lord, for watching over this group of people here tonight, Lord, and for us making decisions, hopefully, Lord, that it is all the right decisions for us. Lord, and watch over the sick and afflicted, dear Lord, and watch over this virus that it may disappear, Lord, as fast as it comes. And Lord, watch over as we travel to our homes. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Is there a motion for adjournment? Motion by Commissioner Robertson. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Booth. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson? Yes. Commissioner Tackett?
Yes.
Commissioner Booth?
Yes.
Judge Jones?
Yes, we are adjourned.